Hi everyone, today we're going to be reviewing the division properties of exponents. Again, this is not new material, we've gone over this before, so it's just a quick review. So remember, when you divide exponents with the same base, x to the 8th power over x to the 5th power is the same as x times 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 x over x times x times x times x times x. We can cancel out a number of those x's, and you'll see that we are left with x to the 3rd power, because x divided by x is 1, 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 x divided by x is 1. So I'm left with just 1 in my denominator and x to the 3rd power in my numerator, which leaves me with just x to the 3rd power. So our first rule is, if you divide exponent powers with the same base, you subtract the exponents, because 8 minus 5 will give you that 3. Okay, what about raising a quotient or a division to a power? In this case, if I raise my power to a power, again, I need to multiply my powers. So 4 times 2 is 8. That will give me x to the 8th power in the numerator. Then I also have to raise this denominator to the 2nd power. 3 times 2 will give me y to the 6th power in my denominator. So, to raise a quotient to a power, you have to raise the power to both the numerator and the denominator. So 4 times 2 is 8. 3 times 2 is 6. Let's do some examples. Here, I'm dividing powers with the same base, so I can subtract them. So 2 minus 3 will give me r to the negative 1. I still have my 2 on bottom. But now this can go downstairs, and I'm going to be left with just a 1 on top, and 2r to the 1st power, which I just write as 2r, in the denominator. What about this one? Negative 1 minus 4, give me x to the negative 5, and that's going to be over 4. Again, I have a negative exponent. I'm going to move it downstairs. So I'm going to have, I'm going to have 1 over 4x to the 5th power, because negative 1 minus 4 is negative 5. Let's do a couple more. I have a power to a power. So 2 times 4 will give me x to the 8th power. I have my invisible 1 there. 1 times 4 will give me y to the 4th power. Now in this one, don't forget we have to raise everything to that 3rd power. 2 to the 3rd power, x to the 3rd power, over 3 to the 3rd power, y to the 2 times 3, 6 power. Now let's clean up those numbers. 2 to the 3rd power is 8, x to the 3rd power, over 3 to the 3rd power is 27, y to the 6th power. As you can see, we're getting progressively more complicated. I can simplify this fraction, 4 over 2, to a 2 over 1. I don't have any u's on top, but I have v to the 1st power minus v to the 3rd power. Give me v to the negative 2 power. So I'm going to have 2 v to the negative 2 power over u to the second power. I don't need to put that 1 in front. When your coefficient is 1, you can leave it off. Next step, I need to bring that v downstairs. So I'm going to be left with 2 over u to the second power, v to the second power. Next example, subtract my exponents. 15 minus 8 will give me x to the 7th power. 9 minus 3 will give me y to the 6th power. And that's it for that one. That one is pretty straightforward. Next example, again, let's simplify this fraction part. 22 over 1, I'm going to make 11. 22 over 2, I should have said. 11 over 1. Again, I don't really need to write the 1. 6 minus 1 will give me y to the 5th power. 8 minus negative 7. Think about that. 8 minus negative 7. That will give me 8 plus 7, which is z to the 15th power. And that's it for that one. Next, I'm raising everything to the negative 2 power. So I have power to a power and multiply them. 3 times negative 2 will give me x to the negative 6. 3 times negative 2 will give me another y to the negative 6. Raise this. X to the negative 6. Normally I would have simplified this before I raised it to the power. I probably should have done that. Let's start that one over. I didn't like that. Let's start this over first. Let's clean up what we can. I have x to the 3rd power, x to the 3rd power. That gives me x to the 6th power, y to the 3rd power, over 4x to the 2nd power. Now this is being raised to the negative 2 power. I can clean it up a little bit inside the parentheses still because I have the 6 power, 2 power here. So I can subtract those exponents. 6 minus 2 will give me x to the 4th power, y to the 3rd power, and just my 4 on bottom. And all of this is being raised to the negative 2 power. Now let's raise everything. It's going to be a lot easier now. To that negative 2 power. That will give me x to the negative 8, y to the negative 6, over 4 to the negative 2. All of those negatives, this 4 is in the basement. It wants to move upstairs. And both of these are upstairs and they want to move to the basement. That will leave me with, I'm running out of room here, 4 to the 2nd power in the numerator, x to the 8th power, and y to the 6th power in the denominator. And the last thing I want to do is evaluate 4 to the 2nd power. That will be 16 over x to the 8th power, y to the 6th power. Could I have continued doing it up here, what I was doing? Absolutely, but it would have been a lot more work. Clean up what's in the parentheses first. I don't know why I didn't do that. Next example, again, before I raise those to the power, I'm going to clean up what's inside the parentheses. I can simplify my 4 and my 12 to 1 and a 3. I don't need to write the 1. Now I don't have any more p's, I don't have any more r's. I could move this downstairs, but I'm going to wait now until I'm done raising it to the power, because sometimes things change. So p to the negative 2 power to the 3rd power will give me p to the negative 6 power. Then I'm going to have 3 to the 3rd power, and r to the 2nd power raised to the 3rd power will be r to the 6th power. Now my last step is I'm going to bring this downstairs. I'm going to be left with a 1 on top. 3 to the 3rd power, by the way, is 27. I'm going to write that down. My P will come before my R because I keep things alphabetical. P to the 6th power and R to the 6th power. I can't simplify anything in these parentheses, so I'm just going to raise them to the -3 power. 5 times -3 will give me a -15. And again on my n, -15. Now my m wants to move downstairs. My n wants to move upstairs. I'm going to be left with n to the 15th power over m to the 15th power. I hope that's all coming back to you. That's it. Have a great day.